Hello, everybody. My name is Kanye M, and welcome to On The Couch.
The third episode, let's go. So this one's going to be slightly different. I'm not coming for any of y'all, so I don't think there's any need for me to hold your hand. But for the people that felt like I needed to hold their hand with the last episode, come through. Come through, girl. Okay? I got you. I'm going to speak about the art of waiting. Wow. Okay. That's the topic today. And yes, it was inspired by episode 2. But I don't want OTK to be just about some cholo. So I'm not going to limit it to that, okay? We don't only wait for marriage, guys. We wait for other things, including Jesus Christ himself, who once came as a savior and is not going to come as a judge. So we need to wait well. Right, we need to wait well. The art of waiting well is actually a lost art in our generation. Like when you think of waiting, you automatically think of it within the marriage context. But there's more to it than that. If anything, one of the things that the Lord taught me in the beginning of the year is that our entire lives are actually a waiting room, because ultimately we are waiting for Jesus Christ to come back. Yes, he gonna judge, but we are finally just gonna sit with him, and all this ghetto-ness that is life is just no longer gonna be a thing for us. And so when the Lord kind of exposed me to the fact that our entire lives are a waiting room, it then kind of helps you shift your perspective from, I think also mine is to come for society and the way that they do things. Hey, son. But to migrate from the way that we think waiting is, and I'm not entirely saying that it's wrong. Right, but I'm just saying that in the grand scheme of things, as Christians, as believers, and as people of God, ours ultimately is to wait for the Father to come back, right? And Paul speaks of it in the New Testament, where he mentions that these bodies that we live in are like tents, right? And we so long it's almost like we wait in anticipation to be with you once again. We groan in these bodies. They are tents, these temporary things. When you think of a tent is a very temporary structure. And so that's kind of where that teaching comes from. Uguti, our entire lives are a waiting room, and ours is to wait well. And as you wait well. Right? Wait well in the sense that you don't wait in delay. You don't wait in consistent frustration. You don't wait in trial and error. Because really and truly, we don't know when God is coming back. We don't know when Jesus is going to come. We do not know when Jesus is going to come back. For all we know, he could literally, as soon as I stop filming, I probably wouldn't even get the opportunity to post this and for you guys to see this, and Jesus would be like, what's good in the hood? We don't know when that is going to happen. And so that's why we ought to wait well. I think for me, one of the prayers just to drive this message home, I know that in the beginning I'd said that waiting is really not limited to just marriage. Really and truly, it's not limited to that. But one of the conversations that I'm having with God, and I'm finding myself, I guess, kind of sort of waiting, is in the area of marriage, because I do want to get married once, guys. I ain't even gonna lie. It's not a Christianity thing. But one of the things that I keep on saying to God is I want to wait well, right? I want to wait well for my marriage. I want to wait well for my husband. And I'm using this as an example to make the broader message land, that I don't want to wait in consistent frustration where I'm crying and I'm just like, oh Lord, where is this man? Oh God, the dating pool is so ghetto. Oh God, life being single is so ghetto. No, I want to do the absolute most in my single season. Yes, from a purpose perspective, but also in just a living life perspective. I want to enjoy Kanye. I want to live to the absolute fullest. I want to enjoy my life without having the responsibility of having to think of a meal to cook every single day, because that's going to be my reality one day. I want to enjoy being my mom's daughter. I think somebody actually said this, that they aren't ready to get married yet because they're not ready to step out of the role or take off the hat that is being somebody's daughter. I'm paraphrasing, I could be wrong, but it's almost like every every luxury that I have in being single, I want to enjoy. Like that thing of waking up one day and deciding that, you know what, I want to fly to Cape Town for my birthday. And I'm not necessarily consulting somebody who needs to consult his own schedule. I want to enjoy Kanye without a child, because that's going to be my reality at some point. I'm enjoying being an aunt, and I feel like that's the perfect example. I love my nephew. I adore my nephew. I feel like my nephew, there's a sense of just utter joy and peace that little boy brings to my heart. But there are some moments where I look at him and I'm just like, I am so tired of you. I need your mom and your dad to come get you. That is me enjoying the luxury of not being somebody's mom. That I can just enjoy this little boy, and when I'm tired of him, I can send him back because he's not mine. Not the greatest example, but that's kind of what waiting well looks like. That you're not just like, oh, I'm single, and you're crying about it, and it's like you treating it as if it's a nightmare. It's not that big of a deal. You're single, live your life. You know what I mean? And like the art of, I guess, dating somebody from a place of having enjoyed oneself, the reward of that is actually so beautiful, because you have so much more to give. Like this person could ask you, what are your hobbies? And you actually have an answer because you've explored that area of your life. You know, what are your non-negotiables? And you actually have an answer because you've explored that area of your life. Imagine when you are constantly just crying and you're dating this guy and that guy, you don't know who you are. And I think that before the commitment that is marriage or any kind of serious commitment in the area of your life can occur, there needs to be a full exploration of your person on her own or on his own. Like, umuntu ke wahlala ayedwa, guys. It's so beautiful to love that person. It's so beautiful to experience that person, that even in friendships, like, it's such a beautiful thing. So for me, currently, that's what waiting well looks like. Enjoying myself in my singleness, starting a podcast, enjoying filming. I love this. Like, all of this, I have the craziest setup behind this camera, but this is what I love. The ability to just wake up and live my life and be myself. And I'm currently also enjoying, like, not entirely being accountable to somebody. Like, I mean, kind of, sort of, but just that art of switching off your phone for however long and nobody's like reaching you and contacting you. I was actually expressing to somebody in my personal life sometime last week that I've arrived at a point in my life where I've mastered the art of understanding or living in every season and being where my feet are. Because if I know that one day I'm going to get married, if I know that one day I'm going to have kids, if I know that one day I'm going to live this beautiful life that God and I are currently speaking about but hasn't yet found physical expression on the earth, if I know that that's going to happen, I want to be where my feet are. And I've mastered the art of doing that. That I'm not rushing anything in my life. I want to enjoy where I am currently. And that's what waiting well for me in this current season looks like. I don't want to arrive at that season in my life where everything has found expression and I'm looking back at this current season and I'm like, shucks, I wish I'd done this differently. I wish I'd done that differently. I wish I avoided that. I wish I showed up like this. And, you know, I never want to live a life where I regret not taking full advantage of a season in my life. And so that's essentially what waiting well looks like when you actually dumb it down to different areas of your life. But ultimately, waiting well is living out the fullness of whatever God is demanding from you and expecting from you and is trying to pull out from you in every season of your life. That if it's isolation in this season, you're taking full advantage of that isolation. Because one thing God does in seasons where he kind of consecrates you and kind of he just pulls you back, you know, is that he gives you time. I'm in a season in my life where I have a lot of time on my hands. I have a lot of time, and I mean, there's a lot to do and I'm preoccupied with a lot that I feel like there's not enough 24 hours in a day. But in the season of God kind of pulling me back, he's given me a lot of time in the sense that I can allocate more hours and as much time as I desire to sitting down with him and reading my Bible, sitting down and doing devotion, sitting down and praying, sitting down in worship. And one of my heart's prayers in this season is, God, may I take full advantage of it. I do believe, actually somebody was once saying to me that in a season where you want to rest, take full advantage of that, because responsibility is going to come back around. And I don't want to move into the next season of my life and think, shoot, I actually wish I used the previous season to read my Bible, because now I'm seeing that I'm having to preach a lot more on different podiums in different regions. And had I actually sat down and read my Bible, I can see how that would have equipped me for the season that I'm now in moving in all these different places and spreading the gospel and, teaching and preaching and interceding for people for the sake of transformation. And so that's like the prayer in my heart, that God, in this season, I see that you have given me the luxury of time to sit with you, download whatever it is that I need to download for my person and who I am in you. And also just learning and being exposed and being shown who you are in your person. And so, yeah, I feel like there's so much that I could say when it comes to the art of waiting well. But like I said, in the grand scheme of things, your entire life is a waiting room. Don't waste it on unnecessary things. Don't waste it focusing on, like something that you desire so much, and that the Lord only has the intention of giving you maybe a season or 2 seasons from now. If you don't have it in this season, inquire why you don't have it in this season. And God will show you why. For example, maybe, I don't know why marriage is like the closest example, but shoot, I really can't think of another example. And I don't want to limit this to Njolo, because like I said, OTK is not about Njolo. But for example, being a person that has the desire to get married, if you're not even dating or talking to anybody, inquire, ask the Lord why. And he could possibly maybe say that you're not ready. And when you probe further, why am I not ready? He'll show you you've got daddy issues. There are certain parts in your heart that haven't yet healed that need healing. There are certain experiences and traumas that you have kind of blocked out that need to be brought up to the surface, and so that you can deal with them and unpack them and see why and how they've affected you and how they could potentially show up in the next relationship. And the art of doing that work, I've seen, kind of helps you understand why you are wired the way that you are in the context of romance, and it makes the process of getting to know somebody and allowing somebody to get to know you a bit more easier. That when these questions come up, Uguti, like, are you a person that shouts, in an argument? If that's a question that's posed to you, you can honestly answer that and say yes. But I've explored why, I'm a person that shouts. Maybe, for example, I shout in a heated moment, in an argument or whatever the case is, because I feel like that's the only way that a person could hear me. I feel heard when I shout. But naturally, I'm a person that doesn't shout. It's just when I'm put in a situation where, it's heated and somebody's hurt me or whatever the case is, I shout so this person can understand that whatever situation you're in has actually hurt me. So I'm saying a lot and I'm covering a lot of ground in a very short amount of time, but explore certain things. Like, if you have such a heavy desire for a car and you don't have it right now, ask God, why don't I have a car? Maybe you don't know how to handle your finances, like so much that in a very bad month, instead of paying your installment, you would actually eat it. You'd go up to the club and you would splurge, right? You'd go shopping. Maybe you're not financially, you haven't yet reached a point in your life where you're financially smart and you can steward your finances well. And so that's why you don't have a car. Because to God, maybe in this season, if you were to be given a car, your finances would be an even greater mess. You'd find yourself in debt. You'd find yourself blacklisted. There's so many things. God is a very intentional God. And the art of waiting well is also found in knowing what season you are in and why, knowing why you are without certain things in a certain season and why. God wants to do life with us. He doesn't only want to be a part of your life, and he doesn't only want to be God and Lord over your life when it comes to you standing on a pulpit, when it comes to you doing admin at church, when it comes to you founding an evangelism or a prayer movement. He doesn't only want to be Lord and Father and God over your life and a friend, when it comes to ministry related things and kingdom stuff. He also wants to be Lord and God over your life when it comes to your finances, when it comes to your love life, when it comes to your friendships, when it comes to who you are as a person and how you think. So I said a lot, but our entire lives are a waiting room. It's just that the different seasons in our life determine what exactly we are waiting for here on earth, if that makes any sense. So find out what it is. Stop living in ignorance. There's nothing in this season that burdens me so much as coming to a realization that our generation is a bunch of ignorant people. Like, we are so ignorant. We are the most woke, I guess, and aware by ignorant people. There's such a heavy cloud of ignorance over our generation, and my heart weeps on behalf of our generation. Like, I pray that God, if there's any prayer that God answers in this season, is just to provide clarity to our generation, understanding the weight of knowing, oh, my Lord. Yeah, the Lord has touched my heart, and I don't want to go into that conversation. But yeah, my prayer is that you would stop living an ignorant life, because your entire life is a waiting room. God has already come as a savior. He's already come. Blood has been shed. He's already redeemed us. He's called us by name. He's made us his. We are already his. We belong to him. The next time that Jesus comes is as a judge. And the question that remains is, have you waited well? Did you find out what purpose is? Do you know what your mandate is? Do you know who you are? Have you waited for me well? Is what the Lord is going to ask us. So I encourage all of you, just wait well. Like, enjoy life within the confines of what God has willed for you and in perfect alignment with all that he desires for you. Let's wait well, guys. Like, let's wait well. Waiting well doesn't mean that life is boring or it's a drag or whatever the case in point is. Waiting well just means that we are doing it with God. We are doing it for God. We are doing it in God. Nothing else. Anything he says no to, we say triple no to. Everything he says yes to, we say 10,000 quadruple yes to.
Once again, I'm your host, Kanye M, and thank you so much for listening.